You are listening to Get Real podcast.
I'm Stuart Smith, and I play keyboards, and I'm lead vocalist for Audible Terrain.
Hi, I'm Rob Stroop, and I play bass for Audible Terrain.
Hi, I'm Mitch Hartman. I play drums for Audible Terrain.
Hi there, I'm Tom Wright. I play guitar for Audible Terrain, and this is our new song, It Was You.
I absolutely love that song, It Was You. When I listen to it, I hear a story unfolding. Can you tell us what the story of that song is and what inspired it?
In 1999, I recorded a solo project, and on that project, I had a song called At Calvary, and it was about the story of Simon of Cyrene, who picked up the cross of Jesus and helped him carry it up to Golgotha. And I thought, well, I kind of had an idea of what if it wasn't someone who was named in the Bible? What if it's just someone who was kind of on the fringes of knowing Jesus and following him for a couple of years, but then he recognizes him as the man who was beaten. It was you. I mean, it was sort of an aha moment for him. And so the song came about from just there. Once I had that idea, the song wrote itself in 5 minutes.
You guys are another example of an awesome band that has a very good sound, that produces great quality music that's not in the mainstream, music that glorifies God. How is it that you desire God to use your music?
I've done the church music ministry thing before, and I've done work with other local groups. And to be honest with you, there was always a little bit of a disconnect there for me. When I got together with these guys, it just kind of clicked. I mean, I'm not new to the spiritual move of God. I've been an active Christian for over 30 years. And it's just, I felt God was here. And if you'll indulge me for a minute, I can tell you why. There was a Thursday evening after I had left the music ministry where I felt lost and done with music. I was planning on putting all of my instruments, my studio equipment, and everything up on eBay and selling it and just moving on with life. Well, I prayed and I said, God, this is what I plan on doing. If that's not your will, would you please let me know? The very next day, when my wife came home from work, she works with Mitch's wife. She came home and she said, I talked to Mitch's wife, and they have a group of guys that just get together and make music. And, they're kind of minus a bass player right now. So would you want to just go in and sit with them and just see what happens? And honestly, for me, the rest is history, because I was like, well, Lord, I'm going to consider this a direction that you've given me. So
yeah, first couple minutes, it was like everybody was just right.
It didn't take long.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very soon after we first got together, I was like, is this an answered prayer? The spirit that I feel with these guys, the musicianship, the writing, everything is it's that level of connection that I was always looking for and couldn't find through other outlets, whether they be in church or whatever. And so it's awesome. And thank you for your patience on that answer.
No, absolutely, because it's wonderful how the Spirit of God has knit you guys together. You could tell when I saw you on stage in Winston-Salem just a few weeks ago that there was something really special that was going on up on the stage, and that was really special about you, and you can tell it in the sound of your music that you have. Audible Terrain is a very interesting name for a band. Can you share with us a little bit about what that means?
Yes, it's interesting to us too. Not a whole lot of thought went behind the name. We did. That's one of the hardest things to do in a band. Is, is find a good name that'll, represent you well when, what you're doing and, your type of music. But the Audible was kind of a given, since you're musical and can hear us loud and clear. But the Terrain, and everybody has their own, opinion about the name. I have mine, but everybody's basically on the same track. But what it means to me, the terrain is, our lives are like terrain. We have valleys, we have peaks, we have mountains to climb. And, life's tough sometimes. And we just have to move forward and forget, the rough terrain, that we passed We just got to forget it and just be optimistic and be in prayer and just take it day at a time. So,
And I think to add to that, I think it's just it's however people want to classify it or download it into themselves. Just however it strikes you. How does it make you feel? What does that name do? And does it inspire you? Are you like, that's the craziest name I've ever heard in my life? Or does it touch something inside you? So, I mean, it's really how anybody wants to take it.
Let me jump in there real quick. What it's come to mean to me is because it kind of comes from the idea of an audible warning in aircraft that you need to pull up, you're going to hit a mountain. And that's kind of what I think about when we go out and play live. I keep thinking, well, are we the warning to the people to pull up? What's happening in your heart? What's happening in your world? Are you going to hit a mountain? Can we say something to you? Can we sing something to you? Can we talk to you after we play that would keep you from hitting that mountain? Because we've all been peaks and valleys. We've all done those things. And if we can show you how not to step through the cracks, or fall, that's part of what we do. We want to be able to be there and say, pull up. That's our audible warning for the train you happen to be going through at that time.
we're not perfect. We're all a work in progress. So we're not up here. We're not out there because we're perfect. We're the messengers. It's all we are in a tool. So I just wanted to throw that in before I forget.
A lot of times I ask artists how they see God use their music to minister to other people, but I'm going to ask the same question a little bit differently about the creative process, because when I listen to your music, it's a woven tapestry of a diverse number of styles and genres that it's just woven together very, very tightly. So I can only imagine that the creative process is kind of pretty neat with you guys. But how is it that God ministers to you as individuals and as a band when you go through that creative process? What does he do in you and through you?
Yeah, it kind of delves into what I've previously talked about my experience with other music ministries and other music groups. It ministers to me because there's one thing I can't deny to myself, is that God did give me the talent that I have. And I always feel like I need to give it back to him in worship. And that makes me want to be a better bass player. It makes me want to be a better producer. So I work really hard at it for his glory. And to me, it's being thankful for being able to demonstrate the talent that he's given me, and to keep in mind that it's going to bless others if I honor him with it. And so, again, to me, it's just a double blessing that not only do I get to do it, but I get to do it with a great group of guys. And so for me, it's just that personal blessing that even when other things in my life may be challenges, this is the one thing I can come to really just be blessed and to let God move.
Can I piggyback on that? For me, I'm speaking for all of us in the band, we're all very creative. We all come with ideas and song ideas and things like this. But a lot of the time I come with, an 80% part of a song, and it will never be realized until these guys chop it apart, reimagine it, and put it back out there in the Audible Terrain world, the way we do things. It's, no, we need to shorten this, or no, let's go ahead and turn that around. I love the process of creation with these guys, because we know the end result is going to be something that will be surprising to us, pleasing to us, and pleasing to him. That's what we're really striving to do. We want to be able to be truthful to who we are in the music, but also it is that outlet that Rob was talking about. It's a way that four guys can get together, talk about things that are happening in our lives, create this music that is such a nice combination and a nice amalgam of all our different styles and things we've been listening to all our lives, but then present it. And we've got so much music. We've got enough for another project. And I would say that probably by Valentine's Day, we'll have the next project completed and ready to get out there. We love doing this. We just want to get out and play, present this music as much as we can.
And we're working on a box set, so
we're on disc 2 of 10.
It's only 4 albums, I think, right? We're working on this box set, so we
10 discs.
gotta get busy, actually.
And a lot of our magical moments are like the first few minutes. Everybody's plugged up, and tuning up, and we just start jamming, and we got a melody, or we got a little groove, or so the chemistry is definitely there. We don't have to think about it a whole lot.
Yeah, it's a blessing, and the blessing is to be able to work with these guys. But everybody's very giving, I've been in a lot of bands. We all have been in a lot of bands, and a lot of time there's a lot of angst and a lot of just not very nice people. It turns into a bad situation. We've never had that. I think God's really blessed it because we really never had that. We never really had a foul word to each other. I mean, we're all positive because we have one focus, and it's to glorify God, and that is the main focus. So if you're all pulling in the same direction, it turns out to be a pretty good situation.
And they know that if they do what I say, everything's smooth.
Yeah, there's that. Hey, did you like that car wash that I did last week? Yeah. I hope you liked it, Mr. Smith.
That's why Stuart's all by himself 3 hours away.
Oh, so now I see why he's on the other side of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, or wherever it is you're up there.
Yeah, well, we're in the dungeon. He's in the...
Yeah,
I'm in Rutherford, North Carolina, so I'm kind of I'm 2.5 hours away. So I drive to them, and it gives me time to get prepared to meet these guys when I get there. So it takes 2.5 hours.
Gives you the plan of what you're going to make them do, right? So when you show up, you're just like, "Hey guys, this is how it's going."
Hey, you're picking up on this really quick, Glenn.
I do have to say, Stuart is a blessing because he's been, I don't know how he's accumulated countless miles driving
Tens
down
of thousands,
here.
probably.
And I just kudos to him. We know where his heart is, and that drives him, and we just thank him for that.
It is a blessing, guys. My heart is always there. I just got to get my body to where my heart is. That's really the truth. It's really where it is.
On November 20th, you guys are releasing The Grand Design. It's an 11-track album that's coming out. Can you tell us what the overarching concept of this album is, and what is The Grand Design?
Let me answer the second part first. The Grand Design for us, it kind of comes from that song, The Grand Design. The lyric says, choose to claim your piece of paradise. Accepting Jesus Christ is the grand design. And so I think about us guys. God has worked for 40 years behind the scenes to bring us all together at this time, including you, Glenn, to get us here to be able to talk about these things. There's a whole world of machinery, spiritual machinery that happened behind the scenes that if we were privy to, it would blow our minds. But we just happen to be riding that wave, and we're enjoying the idea that we felt moved, we acted on it, we were responsive, and we let God lead us. And so for us, the idea of the grand design is that Christ came and died for us. The message is there to promote in the music, not to beat anybody over the head with the Bible, but to just say, look, we're guys with flaws, but we love the Lord and we're doing this. But the grand design is that behind the scenes of everybody's life, there's a tug, there's a pull, there's something happening to pull you toward God. Are you going to respond to it? Are you going to push yourself away? Are you going to have a Jonah going to Nineveh kind of moment where you're going to have to be swallowed by a fish and vomited up, bald-headed and bleached, and still have to go to the people of Nineveh? Or are you going to go ahead and just go like when you're called, So I think for me, that's kind of the grand design is just, and even I'll go ahead and get deep because I've never told these guys this. The musical bridge part of that song to me is like machinery. That's the cogs in the wheel coming together to make a musical machinery that is the expression for us of the things that went behind the scenes to get us in that. And then that you hear that last chorus come in with just no vocals, kind of like Afterglow by Genesis. It's got this great just boom kind of emotion to it. And that's kind of us coming to realization that, yeah, we followed that path. We're here at this moment, and we're doing what God told us to do. Now, Rob, go ahead and just maybe answer the first part of that one about what the project itself, if you feel like it's tied together in any way.
Well, I think as a first effort from all of us as a group, to me is, and again, not just being the bass player, but producing it as well. I'm just seeing us taking our skills in these different songs and just putting together, and we're just kind of getting a lay of the land as to how we want to flow musically. And that's a heart thing as well as a technical and a production type thing. But we have, all four of us have so many different musical influences in our lives, you know, all the different types of rock, prog stuff. I mean, I'm the type of I'm the type of person that likes to listen to anything and everything. I think, and when I was thinking about, Glenn, what you had told us about how you wanted to conduct this, I was thinking about, well, what do I listen to? And honestly, I listen to everything as long as it's not violent or, anything like that. I get musical influences from so many places. And the thing is, these guys do as well. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, well, as far as an overarching album concept, you could probably stick us in an area of some kind of rock. But if I go too deep thinking about it, it's going to be, well, gosh, I see all these different influences in here, so it's hard for me to classify it. But
yeah, we're just a potpourri.
Yeah, we'll just let the world judge the project and let them be honest about what they think. And it's not about us; it's about glorifying God and about blessing people.
And it's a roller coaster ride, because we start off and then we move down, kind of like we do when we do the live show. There's a lot of energy, then there's a lot of, hey, let's introspection, these kind of songs like Cover Me and Lord Above All, and then we get right back up to the energy again. It's whatever the music becomes, we're okay to record it and present it, and we're not afraid to try any style. There's all kinds of things coming up that'll be interesting for us that way.
Some say there are various pathways you can follow to an eternity. You're the only God you need. Well, friends, that kind of thinking's a dead end. When you take your last vow to win the show, will you know where you'll go? Heaven is where we all are meant to be. All are meant to be. In the presence of the Father. Jesus gave everything that day on Calvary, conquering death and sin.
I really believe that your ability to take all of these different music styles and put them together into one project shows how the Spirit of God is moving on you to work together as brothers in unity. Because when I listened to your music, when I was standing there at the show in September, I was like, okay, I hear Kansas. I hear Styx. I hear a little bit of Blue Oyster Cult in there as well. I hear a little bit of Genesis, all of these things just wrapped into one. I heard a little bit of Yes in there too. And these were bands that I grew up on, that I listened to, that influenced me. And I'm like, this is amazing how they put this all together. So for our listeners, the Grand Design, when it comes out on November 20th, where will they be able to get it?
Every digital distribution outlet in the world will have it.
In the world.
Yeah, in the world. I mean, I know.
We're talking to you, North Korea. We want to
But yeah, honestly though, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and all the others out there, it's going to be available then.
Turbo Timmy's Music Emporium.
I think it's in there too.
Yeah, it's probably down there somewhere.
I even have it on a thumb drive. If I meet you, I'm going to hand this to you. There's on a thumb drive.
And where can our listeners find out more about you guys? Do you have a website, Instagram page, Facebook page, anything like that where our listeners can go find out? Because what we're going to do for you, because you're releasing the Grand Design in November, we are featuring you as one of our artists of the month for November. And we're going to put all of your links up for you on our website at lithoscry, LITHOSCRY.com. But where can our listeners go and find out more about you directly?
The audibleterrainband.com. Right now, we don't do the Facebook thing right now, but that would probably be the main.
Yeah, our social media presence and our web presence is in its infancy. So we were talking about ideas for the website, and my thing was, hey, can we just kind of keep it simple to start off with?
Right.
Because, you know, as much as we love music and as much as we love getting together, you know, we have things going on with our families and with jobs and things like that. So I said, let's kind of try and keep it simple so we're not chasing something that's not really creating music. So audibleterrainband.com is a simple single-page website that's really comprehensive in scope. You get a little bit of artwork, you get a picture of us, you get a little paragraph about who we are, and then you get a little 7-minute blurb of our music. But that's the starting point, and it's going to grow.
Do you guys have any live shows coming up anytime soon?
Well, right now, COVID has kind of put the kibosh on all of that. So
We may do one right here. Who knows?
Yeah.
We just do one right
Yeah.
we've actually been talking about, I kind of gave them the idea of, hey, you know, it wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility for us to set up some cameras down here, get some lighting worked out, and maybe do a live show and stream it.
Kind of like live at Daryl's house, but live at Mitch's house. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be, there's lots of different ways to get it out there now. I really appreciated the fact that I got to see you the weekend of September 21st. That was really special because that was the weekend of the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Kippur, the Jewish holiday. And that is a holiday to be celebrated with the sound of music and the sound of trumpets. And it was just really cool to be able to see that actually happening, not just in the spirit, but in the physical with the release of music up there in Winston-Salem. So for our listeners out there, if you are interested in finding out more about Audible Terrain, you can do so at their website, audibleterrainband.com. We are featuring them as one of the artists of the month for the month of November. So you can also find out about them at our website, Lithoscry, that's LITHOSCRY.com. And if you'd like to get in touch with the band through us, or you'd like to get in touch with us over here at El Fishbowl, you can do so at Lithoscry, LITHOSCRY, at gmail.com. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on with us, and look forward to seeing you again in the near future.
Thanks so much,
Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Lithoscry.com